Hi guys, welcome to StunnerShare. So today, what is the topic we're going to see is secret of pivot plus book reading, and the last and the final topic, which is called as magnet trade with respect to the chapter central pivot range. So what does he say in magnet trade? So basically what he's trying to say over here is like he's going to concentrate only about CPR range here. Pivot, TC, BC, those are the three lines. That range only he is going to concentrate over here. And with respect to what? Whenever a candle or whenever the market or whenever the stock is going to open gap up or gap down, then he is going to act on it. So what does that tell? So one of his favoring trading days is like whenever a market gaps at the open of the session. So whenever a market is opening gap up or gap down, either the trade can be a potential breakaway move. That means it will continue in the same direction like today, or the market will fade away and can fill the gap. So how to know that? So how to know whether it is going to be a potential breakaway gap, or it is going to, the market is going to make a gap fill off here. So how you need to understand is like he is giving some small 2 to 3 points of hints to act accordingly. So why am I taking this topic today is like today we had a gap up, very huge gap up, and then the market remained sideways. It did not fly high also, and it did not move towards the CPR also. So let's discuss what is going to, why I choose a topic in detail, in depth in the further video, and let's move on to further continuation of this topic. So the CPR will act as a magnet over here, which is going to attract the candles towards CPR. So I have always told, or I have given some hints in some videos when I'm analyzing Nifty analysis. So in that, what I would have said is like I would have said CPR attracts candles. So that topic or that content is going to be covered in this video. So basically, central pivot range is the equilibrium of the market. It is at the center point of the market where the other resistance are at the top and the supports are at the bottom. So as like a gravitational force in normal our life, the CPR also acts as a gravitational force where it attracts the candles towards it. So if suppose the price is going to open with a gap up, okay, gap up or gap down, anything, let's assume it's like if the price opens with a gap, let it be gap up or gap down, nothing to worry. And if the central pivot range is close to the prior day's close, what does that mean by? Let me show you guys. So assume over here, this is this today is a gap up, assume it is a gap, and then this is the CPR for today and the close is over here. So that is what he is trying to say. If suppose the market is having a gap and the central pivot range CPR is near the prior day's close, there is a high percentage of gap fill to happen under the right circumstances. So what are the right circumstances? We will see in the further video. So this type of day or this type of trade, what he is going to take, that is called as magnet trade. So that is the name of the content, the magnet trade. So the magnet trade means whenever the stock or the price is going to have a gap, and if the CPR is near to the prior day's close, then the possibility of candles moving towards CPR is highest percentage. Clear? So this is one of his favorite days, and one hint what he's going to give is like this sort of gap filling or the reversal towards CPR will happen in first 30 to 60 minutes. Clear? The first hint what is giving is like usually within the first 30 to 60 minutes of the day, this trade tries to happen. Clear? So now he is going to give an example with give some examples. Let's watch those examples. So the first example, what is trying to give is a gap up scenario. In the gap up scenario, if you guys see, this is the CPR and the CPR is near to the price which has got closed yesterday. So the prior day's close is also near to the CPR. So now what has happened is it has opened with a gap up, and if you see, it is a bearish reversal doji has been formed. So once after seeing that, he has shorted it, and then the same way the candles reach towards CPR, and he has closed the trade when the candles reach towards CPR. So also what he's trying to say is like these type of patterns are recurring. These types of patterns occur repeatedly occur. So in this case, what is the percentage of winning is 63% we can win in this trade. So also he is likely to give you some additional tips to make the trade more powerful and profitable. So what is that? The first hint or the first tip what he is trying to give is like the gap between the CPR and the opening price should be considerably a moderate value. It should not be a far away. So in the case of today, the gap was like nearly 95602, 150 points gap up has happened. So this is not a moderate setup, and that is why we were not expecting a gap fill today. So what is the second tip which he is trying to give? So the second tip he is trying to give is like the same way what was said as before, the prior day's close and the CPR must be somewhat near, and that is what he is trying to say in the second tips. So now what you need to do is like whenever the pivot range helps to attract the price to fill the gap, if the range is too close to price, the market's ability to fill the gap is highly possible. So if suppose the market CPR and the prior day's close is very nearby, the ability to fill the market is more there. Now the third tip. So the first step is that the gap up should be a moderate gap. It should not be a very wide gap. The second tip is whenever the pivot range or the CPR range is close to the previous day's close, the ability to gap fill is highly possible. Now the third tip. So the third tip is within 30 to 60 minutes, the market should start the reversal to CPR. If suppose the market is not going to have reverse to the CPR in within 30 minutes to 60 minutes, then that means that day it is not going to fill the gap. So that is what he has mentioned over here. You must remember that the goal of the trade is to play for a fade of the gap toward the central pivot range, which means the trade will be usually short and sweet. So what he's adding more is like, if you can get a little more out of the trade, then go for it. But don't wait all day for the gap to fill, because longer the trade takes, the more unlikely it is to fill. So if suppose within 30 to 60 minutes, if the gap is not going to get filled, then it is better to avoid the reversal trade. So that is what he is trying to say over here. And he has quoted here is like, some trades are meant for gold. Some trades are meant for gold nuggets. So the more nuggets you collect, the bigger you pot of gold. So always do not assume that you need to trade very big amount or you need to hold a session for a longer time. Just trade small quantities and small movements. If you collect those in a proper risk and risk to reward ratio, then your bucket will be full of gold. So that is what he is trying to say over here. Now he is going to give you a fundamental tip over here. So his setup, this setup, whatever he has seen for the magnet trade, like a gap up and then a reversal seen, and the reversal towards the CPR is happening. When usually he has identified this sort of setup is like during earning sessions. That means during the quarter results. So he is mentioning 4 months here: January, April, July, and October, where the quarterly results announced, and at those times he was seeing these type of setups to happen. So we have to be very cautious. Just don't stick to the months. Sometimes you can stick up but always wait for the price action, always wait for the candles structure, candles pattern, and based on that try to take a trade. So trading this setup along during this period is enough to sustain a healthy life. So he has concentrated more on this setup, and he has got a good generous income also. So as he has mentioned in the previous chapter, pivot trend analysis, what he has mentioned in pivot trend analysis, like whenever there is an uptrend or whenever there is a downtrend, buy at dips and sell at dips is the possible way to go. So what he is trying to say is, like, whenever there is a uptrend going on, if suppose there is a gap up happening, then the possibility of candle coming towards the CPR is highly possible. So that is what he is trying to say over here, and he is also giving you an example over here. So this is an uptrending session, as he has mentioned in his paragraph, and what he has said is that it was a gap up, and then the possibility of coming towards the CPR is highly possible. And after that, if you could see, there was a reversal setup which has formed, and then the market, after touching the CPR, again started to move up. So your trade must be like, do not hold the trade for long time, just hold the trade for the CPR as target, and that is what has happened here. Now he is going to give you another scenario. That scenario is like the resistance and the supports in the pivot. So for example, R1, R2, R3, R4, S1, S2, S3, S4, these can act as a proper resistance and support, and sometimes can be like can act as a good support and resistance, which will not allow the candles to move towards CPR. So an example for that is like he has given an example where the candle started moving towards S2, where the candle started moving towards gap up towards S2, and after that it retraced back to S1, but it was not able to cross S1 and touch the CPR. Here S1 has acted as a good resistance. So the support at the support S2, the candle has bounced, but it was not able to cross S1 over here. So that is what he was trying to explain over here. And whenever the candles are showing proper rejection at the support or proper rejection at the resistance, try to watch the candles movement and then go for a proper trade in that. So if you see over here in this example, it was a gap down, and if you see the candles over the support S1, it is completely with the wicks, and it indicates that a proper reversal can happen, and the same thing has happened towards the CPR. So always watch for the candlestick patterns on how it is happening. So in the magnet trade concept, what he has tried to explain is like, whenever there is a gap opening happening, we need to see how much the gap between the CPR and the candle open, and you need to see the price action where the candlestick, how the candlestick formation is happening, and you need to see the CPR and the previous day's close, how near it is, and you also need to see whether in 30 to 1 hour of time from the open time of the market, whether it is going to retrace back to CPR or not. So these are the possible hints which he is giving in this topic, so that we could able to book some good profit, and we can be in a good powerful trade. So now we are going to see a boss in action concept. So what he is trying to say is like, boss in action is like how pivot boss Frank Ochoa has acted on it. We guys already know that he uses mechanical system to trade on his alerts. So he doesn't enter manually, he just do the trades based on systems. So on January, April, July or October, among these 4 months, he was able to make some 80% earnings in this session. Clear? So 80% is really a good amount of earnings in the 4 months, so that he was able to make it with a good level of accuracy and comfort. So when the magnet trade gives him a good accuracy and comfort during the season of earning season, that is January, April, July and October. Oh, sorry guys. Now he is going to give you an example which has happened on July. what has happened is like he has spotted a gap up in E-mini S&P 400. So what he has done on that is like the gap up was like a mild gap up. It did not close above R2. It was only about R1. So he was expecting a reversal. What he has done is like he converted the chart to 3-minute chart. So if you guys see the previous chart, usually he used to check the 15 minutes. See over here, it is a 15-minute chart, and see over here, it is a 5 minutes, 5 minutes. So rarely he goes to 3-minute chart, and that is what he has done over here. So he has converted it into a 3-minute chart, and he saw a bearish wick reversal candlestick. Once he sees the bearish wick reversal candlestick, he has taken a trade and he has booked his profit at CPR, and he has got nearly $350 per contract. So this is how you also have to be very quick in your action and try to book your profits then and there, and also follow your trading system. So how he is concluding here is like the magnet trade is one of his favorite setups because it is very clean and neat. It is very simple, and it is also beautiful to make good profit trades. Also, one other thing what he's trying to say is like it occurs repeatedly in the market, so getting profits is also very neat. And it happens in 4 months: January, April, July, and October. Try to concentrate on all the 4 months. So next is like the central pivot range revolution. This is the final summary of this topic. So what in this he's trying to say is like, see, the 2-day pivot range relationship, the pivot with analysis, the pivot trend analysis offers extremely powerful methods for using CPR. So whenever you guys want to know about how powerful is CPR, just watch the videos of the chapter 6 so that you will be able to understand what is central pivot range, and try to understand 2-day pivot range relationship, pivot with relationship, and pivot trend analysis. So when you are able to understand about the pivot range, you will get a significant edge in your trading system. Anytime you have an edge in trading, you are putting yourself in a possible position to a profitable situation. So try to understand what is CPR, try to relate CPR with other concepts, and try to relate CPR with price action and see how it works. So to me, CPR is the best indicator for till now I have seen, and that is why I do not made the video on any other indicators. So I would request you guys to watch this complete chapter once again, and do let me know in case of any queries or any clarification you need in the comment section, or mail me at StunnerShare@gmail.com. So that's it, guys. Stay tuned for more videos. Thanks a lot. Keep liking, subscribing, and stay tuned for more videos.